Hello, amazing people. I trust that you are doing well. Welcome to Business 101 with Simon or Matthew. It's an amazing day and it's a good day to be alive, and it's a good day to also do business as the stakes are getting higher and the chances of making profits are actually getting higher. And so you need to position yourself so that you can be able to make profits, as the case may be. My name is Simon Matthew, and I am the founder of Limitless Marketplace, and I am the host of the show Business 101 with Simon O. Matthew. All right, we started this series. The last we started a series, and the very first episode we talked about the importance of having a name for your business, having a name for your business and as well as your product. And I explained the reason why it's important for you to have that. All right. I know that the natural question that may pop up on the minds of those who don't have one and who desire to have one as a result of what I shared the last time, they may want to ask, okay, how then should we go about having a name for our business, our products, and as well as our services? All right. I would answer it. I would answer this way. Now, if you want to name, if you supposing you are on the other side of the divide, supposing you are that client, that customer that looks forward to, or you are that prospect that wants to patronize a business, what kind of name would would attract or get your attention? That is one of the things you need to consider. Sometimes we as business people, we create things sometimes without having our customers in mind. How do I mean? Sometimes we just do certain things on the basis of assumption, and in most cases, our assumptions are not usually correct, and that is the reason why we put in so much effort and we get little or no results. All right, so today I'll be sharing, in this episode rather, I'll be sharing with you some of the ways you can go about creating a name for your business. Now, um, to help you understand, or to help us guide, to help guide us in this discussion, or to help us guide us in this conversation, I would like to give certain factors that you need to consider when coming up, or when trying to put a name for your business, for your product or service together. All right. Now, some of the things you may need to consider, the factors you may need to consider include the following. Number one, you need to consider neutrality. Neutrality. Ensure that whatever name you are giving to your business, whatever name you are giving to your product or to your service, ensure that it is neutral in nature. Ensure that it is neutral in nature. You don't want a situation whereby you're giving your business a particular name, and the name is tilting towards one religion or another, or the name is tilting towards one belief or the other. You don't want that kind of situation. Now, the reason is because those that will be patronizing you, except if your services has to do with just a particular set of persons, then you can craft your name around. You can craft whatever you do around that. Otherwise, if you desire to cut across the different divides, then you may want to consider being neutral, having something neutral, very, very important. And that leads me to the next point. Number two factor you may need to consider you need to consider the nature of your business. The nature of your business, very important. Consider the nature of the business you intend doing. Sometimes names actually come from the nature of the kind of business that you do. Let's say, for example, you want to service. Let's say your business is into helping people know how to write or helping people know how to speak. All right, so you may want to you may want to get a name that to be able to catch the attention of your potential clients or your potential customers. Simply put, you may want to create a name. You may want to give a name that sometimes is self-explanatory. Sometimes it will also appeal to the set of persons that you intend servicing or you intend attracting. That is also number two, nature of business. Number three, that you may want to consider a name that is you may want to consider a name that is easy to remember. You may want to consider a name that is easy to remember. I'm talking about a name that is easy to remember. If you look at big brands today, the reason why most of them, their names are usually very short. Sometimes it's one word, sometimes it's just a phrase. The reason why it's like that, and the phrase is not more than maybe two or at most three words. The reason why it's like that is that they want a situation whereby whereby people can easily remember uh, them. And for those who have a very long name, what they usually do is they promote initials. They promote initials. For example, brands like CNN, BBC, for example. All right, they promote their initials, and people know them by the initials. It will shock you that when you interrogate these persons who engage or who follow these brands, it will shock you that most of them don't really know the full meaning of some of these initials. So if you feel that, okay, the name I intend using and I must use it is very long, you can sell initials. All right, you can flaunt initials, and it will also sell, but ensure that you are choosing or you are working with something that is of something that can be easily remembered. Very, very important. Then apart from that, you should also consider uniqueness. You should also consider uniqueness. Now, for the fact that brand A is doing well and they used a particular name does not mean that you must copy or use the kind of name that some of them use. I know that for some people they will smartly do that because they want to hide under a such brand to be able to expand their brand. But at the long run, it may affect you negatively, as some people will just see you as a second option and not the first options they should consider when they are looking at patronizing businesses as in line with whatever needs it is that they have. And so it's very, very important that you take note of this. I once saw I think a particular paint brand. They decided to now use another 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 paint brand another paint brand's name. What they now did was they added the N alphabet, but very, very very, very, very small. They looked for a way to chip that in. And to me, it doesn't speak well of that brand, because if you are sure that what your brand is offering is of high quality, then you don't need to hide under other brands to be able to sell. Except if you feel that you need the visibility and all of that, what stops you from going and partnering with these brands so that you too can be able to flaunt your own at the long run? So you want to be very careful. You want to ensure that you are unique. Now, for the fact that you want to go global does not mean that you should lose your individuality. You should lose your individuality as a business. All right. You should come up with something unique. Come up with something unique. If you decide that you want to use your traditional name, all right, you want to use your traditional name, use something that is not too long, something that can be easily remembered, something that can be easily pronounced, and all of that. That way you'll be able to also gain leads and gain engagements in the process. in the process. Very, very important. Then when you are whatever name you have decided, another thing you should also consider, which is I think which is the fifth thing, should be look for a name that is sellable. Look for a name that is sellable, and getting and coming up with a name that is sellable is something that is a product of research that has been carefully done. You don't want to choose a name that will not sell. You don't want to choose a name that is confusing people. You don't want to choose a name that people begin to wonder what exactly is this person into, or what was this person thinking before picking a name. Choose a name that is sellable. A name that is sellable. And a name that is sellable is a name that is unique, a name that is simple, a name that is easy to remember, and a name that is neutral, that cut across, and also a name that reflects the nature of the kind of business that you run. Very, very important. Now, as I begin to round off this particular episode, I want you to understand something, that for whatever name that you have settled for, ensure that you are consistent with that name. Consistency is very important. Consistency is very important. It's not a case that you are picking one name today, maybe 2 3 years down the road you feel, oh, I think I made a mistake, and you are picking another name. Now, what you are doing in effect is that you are simply telling people that, okay, I used to be known by this name, and now I am going to be known by that name. I used to be known by this name, and I'm going to be known by that name. Now, the problem with this is that, or the challenge this would pose to you as a business is that, by sometimes people know you by the old name, and they want to refer people to you by that old name. All right. And by the time they do that, only for them to maybe search all over the internet, and they are not able to find you. They are not able to find you. That is really, 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 really not very good. All right, they are not able to find you. All right, they're not able to find you. And who knows, maybe from that potential client or that potential customer, you may have you could have gotten the big break that you wanted to get as a business. Now, going back to the factors, I just thought to also add this point, which is the sixth point. Ensure that whatever name you are picking is search engine optimization friendly. Search engine optimization friendly, otherwise known as SEO friendly. Ensure that it's something that is good, something that is searchable on the search engine. Ensure that it is something that people can easily search and get. You don't want to have apostrophes all over the place, and they will search for you. They won't be able to find you. All right. So, whatever name, like I said, you've settled for, ensure that it is a name that you're going to be consistent with, and that's why it is not something you want to do in a rush. It is not something you want to do in a rush. It's something you want to take your time, study the trends. You want to take your time and think through certain various dimensions. You want to take your time and put yourself in the position of your prospects, in the position of your potential clients or customers, so that you'll be able to come up with something at the end of the day that will be appealing to them, something that they can remember, something that they can easily refer people to you with. So I hope with these few points, you are able to then know how to go about choosing a name for your business, choosing a name for your product and services. So in the next episode, I'm going to be talking about having a logo for your business, and the importance of having a logo for your business, both from the standpoint of a designer's perspective, and as well as a marketer and a brand identity developer's perspective. So I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to sharing with you those thoughts in the next episode. So until I come your way again, this is Simon and Matthew, urging you to keep living the limitless life and keep doing business. Bye for now.